Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. Thank you for joining me here for the Taz Effect. Daily news in a way you did not think that you could use. Hey, 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 hey. It's Tuesday. It's the most Tuesdayest Tuesday that's ever happened thus far in this century of 2025. Let's get into it. Let's start on a bit of a lighter note than what we're used to. Okay? And by lighter, let's start off by making fun of JD Vance. You know, Mr. Put It in the pullout himself. I'm kind of embarrassed. JD Vance now gets shunned in his Ohio hometown. Now, just now, that's the official story that we're going with? That's what we're gonna say. That's what we're going with. Okay, just checking. That's what we telling the people. Okay, that's okay. Okay, sure. That's what we're going with. Residents of Vice President J.D. Vance's hometown in Ohio have mixed feelings about the city's most famous native son. Is he the most famous native son? Like, can y'all stop using things that have been ascribed to Black people to describe the bland? The cool whip Americans? The cool whippikins? Okay, can we not? The 41-year-old. It's a rough 41. This tough. That's that poor unfortunate soul. The 41-year-old Vance detailed his troubled upbringing in Middletown, where globalization hollowed out its industrial core and chased off good-paying jobs. In his 2016 memoir, You Mean Lie? His Lie? Hillbilly Elegy. And Washington Post columnist Karine Hijjar found the folks back home never quite embraced him as one of their own because he was never one of their own. Bland like the Griswold Christmas turkey, boy. Like Marjorie Taylor Greene cooking turkey, darling. Y'all remember that Marjorie Taylor Greene turkey? Yeah. JD Vance was never one of them. He lied about Middletown, Ohio. He made them seem like they were backwoods, poor, and stupid. They're not. He made it seem like he was just struggling, and he wasn't. Let's not forget, he's an Ivy League graduate. He met his wife at an Ivy League institution. The GOP, just like a lot of white pop superstars, they like to lie. They like to tell you, oh, don't be like the elites. We don't need that education and we're good. But then they also love to tell you about their Ivy League education, about their country club memberships, about who they hang out with in the Hamptons. And keep in mind, he lives in East Walnut Hills, Cincinnati, Ohio. And before somebody goes, Taz is doxing the vice president, everybody knows where he lives because he spends more time in Cincinnati, Ohio than he does in the District of Columbia, and he likes to shut down the roads around his house. So even if you didn't know where he lived before, you know now. Hey, hey. And if you think I'm joking about Middletown, Ohio, Google it. Google it and tell me, does that sound like a hillbilly elegy? Because Middletown is essentially a suburb of Cincinnati, Ohio. It ain't that far. I'm kind of embarrassed sometimes to tell people I'm from Middletown, says Bethany Tompkins, a mother and seamstress. I don't want the world to judge us by him and how he behaves. I'm not saying Middletown has the best reputation. Not saying that. Because if you're black or brown, now more than recent years, you'll fare better there. But I also want to put it in the back of your mind that JD Vance, Mr. I'ma change my name and you need to respect my changed name and don't call me by my dead name. His half brother ran for city council in Cincinnati, Ohio. Okay? WKRP in Cincinnati. So, once again, does any of this sound like a hillbilly elegy? And if you actually know what an actual hillbilly is, you would know JD Vance ain't not damn bit of a hillbilly. Shout out to my hill folks. Hajar was surprised how little fanfare about the local products she spotted around town during a recent visit just over a year after he was elected to serve as President Donald Trump's second in command. We're not. There are people outside of Ohio, specifically outside of the greater metropolitan area of Cincinnati, Ohio. Y'all are shocked because JD Vance is a white man. You're shocked that there isn't more fanfare. You probably have in your mind, like, oh, they're celebrating him and they get. No. When did you hear about a big shindig, a big gala going on anywhere in Cincinnati? There was more fanfare, okay? The first time Omarosa was on TV. Yes, she's from the Cincinnati area also. There was more. She was getting interviewed, especially when she made it to Celebrity Apprentice, honey. They was interviewing her all over the place. There was more fanfare about her than anything else. Right. No grinder crash. But I'm like, well, he didn't need grinder. He's only a hop, skip, and a jump from Youngstown. If you know, you know. There were no banners, no plaques, not even a weather-beaten Trump Vance 24 sign as I drove around town, she wrote. A portrait of Vance in an art studio was the most visible display of admiration I found. Was it admiration or was it capitalism? Here's the thing, and I know this is going to shock a lot of people, but there are racists that still have standards. There are racists that hold hierarchies, and Vance is not on that, is not in the top tier of the hierarchy. This is why I keep trying to tell people, stop going, oh, if something or when something happens to Trump, I'm more afraid of what Vance is going to do. What is he going to do? Vance can't hold MAGA together. What we need to be preparing ourselves for are the people who are willing to die alongside of Trump. The people who are going to poison themselves because Trump is no longer here. The people who have said and done such egregious things that there's no coming back because they've been using Trump and his rhetoric as a cover, as a shield, as an excuse. JD Vance can't hold MAGA together. JD Vance is very, very awkward. MAGA doesn't, the GOP doesn't really want Trump. But no, what you need to be concerned about are the people who are going to Jonestown themselves and the people that are going to Jonestown their family. Because we talk about, when it comes to Jonestown, people drinking the proverbial Kool-Aid, okay? And before somebody comes in, it was actually flavored. We know, okay? Just like we know Vaseline is a brand and the product is petroleum jelly, okay? Just finally be a little bit of fun at a party, okay? For the sake of all of us. But I digress. But we don't talk about the people who were murdered, who were forced to drink the proverbial Kool-Aid, the people who were gunned down, who were that's what we're going to have to be concerned about and on the lookout for when Trump does end his life. Because let's not forget, the people who eliminated their entire families because of some rhetoric from his first term. And because it wasn't a whole bunch of people all at once, a lot of people forgot that these things happened. So, moment to say, let's turn up the heat when the heat kicks up. Right. Exactly. But no, Middletown is not putting up pomp and circumstance for JD Vance. JD Vance himself is ashamed to come from Middletown because JD Vance started hobnobbing with the Silicon Valley tech bros. JD Vance's whole point was to become wealthy and was to become powerful. He is that awkward kid that now has the woman that he wanted in the life that he wanted growing up. This is why he's kind of a Disney adult at this point. And no disrespect to Disney adults, but let's face it, a lot of us as adults are living our childhood for the first time, whether through adultification, because of poverty, for a multitude of things. We are just now able to live our childhood, and that's what he's doing. This is why he wrote a story so that he could have his coming of age, I surpassed Black person story, because that's essentially what he did. And a lot of white people do that. A lot of the cool whippikins, this is what they do. They create these sob stories for themselves. We've watched it with Kid Rock. We watched it with Ariana Grande. We watched it with Taylor Swift. Started from the bottom, now we're here. You started from the upper echelon of the upper middle class, and now you're here. But they try to make it seem like they overcame such adversity and they overcame poverty. From an Ivy League school where he did not attend on scholarship. And he's banking on nobody from Middletown speaking up and defending their city, nobody Googling Middletown or going to Middletown to see what's up, and for you all to just assume that it's riddled with drugs, that it's infested with ass backwards, stupid white people. Like, this is how he's painting his own people. I need you to realize that white people will denigrate other white people in order to look good. Instead of working on a personality trait and working on at least just being a decent human being at the bare minimum. But no. Absolutely not. Now, Trump is pushing forward to complete his ballroom. And even though the White House is like, it's not his ballroom, it's the people's ballroom. When did we the people vote on this? When did we the people call up Trump, was like, hey, Booski. Hey, bromance buddy, we really want a ballroom. Oh no, none of the dimensions need to make sense. Bathroom, pish posh. Let him go in the garden. Okay. Windows, we don't really need the windows to open. If a fire happens, it was the Lord's will. And like dance floor, yeah, I know we're calling it a ballroom, but let's be real. What are we really gonna do in there? Absolutely nothing. Because it's just gonna be a glamorous entrance for those visiting. Why? Oh, because the East Wing is where visitors went through. And we'll dedicate a corner to whoever the next first lady is, so she can have a little space to work. You know how the little ladies are. What do you mean? Oh, you didn't know that the first lady's office on the East Wing too? Yeah, there was a lot of history in there. Yeah, hope nobody attacks us in the next 3 to 4 years. Why? Oh, yeah, the bunker to keep, the who's who of the secession intact and safe. Yeah, that's a part of what we demolished too. Did we think this through? No, this is the Trump administration. We shoot by the seat of our depends. Yeah, we absolutely do. We absolutely. Architect. Trump said he knows real estate. Yeah. We're gonna trust in him. Essentially, we let Jesus take the wheel. but I think it was John Wayne Jesus, not even Kenny Loggins Jesus, because it definitely wasn't the brown Jesus that we let take the wheel. As a matter of fact, I think it was meth head Jesus. All they do is steal. Girl, let me call you back. Like that's how it goes. This how it goes. Like, but they say White House ballroom expected to be completed by 2028. Why? Cal gonna take me away. Cal gonna take us all away, Gambit. But why? Why are we moving forward with this? I'll tell you why. Trump gives bonkers reason ballroom construction must go on. You do know everything does not need to go on. Everything does not need to go on. Okay. Everything does not need to be the song that never ends. Please make it stop, my friend, because I can't take this anymore. Please. The Trump administration has argued in court, yes, in court, that work on the president's gaudy White House ballroom must continue for unclear national security reasons. Now, I might not be a smart man, but I know that a ballroom has nothing to do with national security. Absolutely not. Mama said life is like a box of chocolates, not a you can't open the windows ballroom. Secret Service Deputy Director Matthew Quinn made the claim in a sworn statement responding to a lawsuit filed by the National Trust for Historic Preservation, which is asking a federal judge to halt President Donald Trump's project, especially since, once again, he was arguing with the previous architect, fired them, brought in a new architect. It is kind of sort of from those scuttlebutt floating around, arguing with them as well. These are things that are supposed to be panned out before you start tearing stuff apart. And the OG construction crew, he hasn't paid, and there's no permits. There's no permits. There's no permits. Quinn argued, and keep in mind, these people are willing to argue under oath. They want to be perpetually unemployable, I guess. Quinn argued that construction on the 90,000 square foot ballroom at a projected cost of $300 million must continue so the Secret Service can carry out unspecified safety and security requirements, the Associated Press reported. When did Zumba become a tactical requirement? Because, like, what? Huh? The 36-page court filing did not explain the nature of those concerns, though the East Wing sits above an underground bunker used by the president during emergency operations. Quinn claimed that halting construction, even temporarily, would consequently hamper the Secret Service's ability to fulfill its mission, including protecting the president. How is adding a space that would be higher up, taller than the White House, with windows that in some areas will not be able to open up, creating a greater amount of space that will need to be surveilled and covered for the protection of said president? How, what is their mission? Like, who's in charge at this point? Tom Cruise? Is this the latest adaptation of Mission Impossible? Quinn claimed that halting construction, even temporarily, would consequently hamper the Secret Service's ability to fulfill its mission, including protecting the president. The National Trust for Historic Preservation, a congressionally chartered nonprofit tasked with safeguarding historic sites, sued the Trump administration, arguing that construction of the president's ballroom is unlawful, especially since they don't have any permits. The agency says the ballroom project must go through multiple independent reviews and receive approval from Congress. The group contends the project is proceeding without required approval from Congress or the National Capital Planning Commission and without an adequate environmental impact review. No president is legally allowed to tear down portions of the White House without any review whatsoever. Not President Trump, not President Biden, not anyone else, the lawsuit states. And no president is legally allowed to construct a ballroom on public property without giving the public the opportunity to weigh in. Exactly. And here's the thing. For all of the Trump mega fans, okay, that are also women are gold diggers. They want to go out on dates for free dinner. Trump is taking, he ain't even taking us on a date, and he's spending our money. Why are you not mad at him? He done took our Bucci cat and our Cuda biscuit by force, and then stole our wallets. And the change that fell on the floor in the Uber. And y'all just let me. I don't appreciate this. It's not very alpha manly man of y'all. It's not very trad wifey of y'all. I don't feel protected by y'all. I Now, over the weekend, there were some tragedies that occurred. One notable tragedy during Hanukkah in Australia. And once again, my condolences go out to the family and friends of those that were injured and that lost their lives in that tragedy. Would y'all like to know who Lindsey Graham is claiming is responsible for this? Howdy, pudding. Would you take a guess? I want y'all to take a few minutes. Just sit and think for a minute. Who do you think on this good December 16th, in the year of our Lord, Reese's Cuposaurus, 2025, who do you think, Joe Biden, you're right on Joe Biden, but there's another one. It's a twofold. Lindsay is blaming a duality, okay? Like the dynamic duo of dastardly deeds. Mm-hmm. I want y'all to realize it's an uncomfortable laugh that I have, and I'm laughing at Lindsey Graham. I'm not laughing at the situation, okay? No, not Kamala. I thought he was going to say Kamala, but no. In a recent appearance on Fox News, Lindsey Graham blames Obama and Biden for Australia's mass shooting. He said, and I quote, "They have a lot to do with this." Every day, I fight to stay out of timeout. And people like Lindsey Graham exist, and I end up in timeout. But I didn't say any bad words. I didn't say no bad words. I didn't say the bad words. I did not say the bad words. Yet, possibly, maybe. Fingers crossed. 25 years of mass pew pew, and they had something to do with it. Yep. No mass pew pew. Yep. Senator Lindsey Graham, Lady Graham herself, blamed the mass shooting on a Hanukkah celebration in Australia on former presidents Barack Obama and Joe Biden. I'm pretty sure if Jimmy Earl was still alive, Lindsey Graham would have found a way to blame Jimmy Earl. For those of y'all that don't know who Jimmy Earl is, Former President Carter, Jimmy Earl. Before you go, Taz, why you call him Jimmy Earl? Because that's his name, James Earl Carter. Jimmy Earl. Over the weekend, 2 gunmen opened fire and killed 15 people in Bondi Beach, a suburb of Sydney. Officials said the gunmen were a father and son, Saeed Akram and Naveed Akram, who were motivated by the Islamic State to kill Jews. Were they? Were they? The father was killed at the scene. During the attack, one of the gunmen had his firearm heroically taken away by a bystander who was also Muslim. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but y'all slowly about to turn me into one. The Akrams had reportedly visited the Philippines where they received military-style training, according to the Australian security officials. Naveed Akram allegedly had ties to members of Australia's pro-Islamic State network, including a spiritual leader and a youth recruiter. Okay, does this have to do with Lindsey Graham? But the Philippines, out of all the things that I know about, and even the rumors about why people go to the Philippines, this ain't been one of them. But you know. Hey, Courtney girl, how you doing? Graham appeared on Monday's edition of Hannity on Fox News. Hannity, don't come over here bothering me. For those of y'all that don't know, Hannity and I have a couple years long YouTube beef going. In my defense, he started it. I'm just going to end it. One way or the other. Sean, meet me outside in the playground at 4 o'clock. I just want to hug you. Edition of Hannity on Fox News, where the angry senator said Obama and Biden have a lot to do with this and declared, "We are in a religious war with you." Okay, because you folk Christians are getting on my nerves. I saw your new ad. Y'all are like, we found out the meaning of a Christmas tree, so we're going to take down our traditional Christmas tree and we're going to put up a tree that looks like a cross and we're going to nail it to the wall. I don't know about y'all. As a card-carrying Christian and as a human being with working smarticle particles, okay, if something were to happen to me, and whether I was injured, I died, or whatever, and you were going to celebrate my birthday by continuously bringing up how I died, I'd come back and haunt all of y'all. Let me explain, okay? If my birthday is coming up and you're like, you know what the perfect decorations for Taz's birthday would be? Let's recreate the crime scene of her death. Like, is you cool, bitch? Like, the only religious war is the religious war of the folk Christians that you make up in your head. Like one health center talking about, no longer am I going to tolerate saying happy holidays to make you feel comfortable because you need to make me feel comfortable. And if you can't deal with me saying Merry Christmas, then you're a big baby, even though I can't take you saying happy holidays. I need y'all to take one of them. I need y'all to take a railway spike, turn it upside down. Don't lube it up. Sit on it and spin around. I know I took the long way to tell somebody to go themselves. I can't say the bad words. I cannot say the very effective bad words before 8 p.m. on GZBR radio. So we got to get creative. We cannot get our Pulp Fiction right now. We're fighting radical Islam, Graham said. Graham, you are fighting reality, okay? That closet is glass. We can see through it. Just because you put funhouse mirrors in your house and you ain't paid the electric bill since you got into Congress, we can see you, okay? We see all the legibitiqua that you are. Okay, just because you're an ugly gay man don't mean that you're not a gay man. You cannot say the bad words on air. Close the door. There's a form of Islam out there that requires the people who practice it to kill all Jews, to kill us as Christians, and to purify Islam. In all of my years, the ones who just decide to purify themselves and their religion through murder has been the ones who've pretended to be Christian. Now, some of y'all know my walk in Christianity, some of you don't. I have an uncle, may he continue to rest in wherever he at, okay? Um, I kid slightly. Um, but he said there was like maybe 25, 30 of us that one summer he wanted us to learn about as many religions as possible. He set it up where we could talk to different rabbis, different priests, different minute, like you name it. Okay. To ensure that we weren't just going to church and we weren't joining auxiliaries because our parents did, because our grandparents did, because our aunts and uncles did, because he didn't want us using the church as a social club, as like our own little private country club to make friends or whatever. It's like, is this truly what you believe? And so you have an understanding of what other religions are out there. And he really drove it home. Respect other people's religion if you want them to respect your religion and your beliefs. And I stand by that wholeheartedly. You don't have to believe what I believe. We can be friends and have completely different beliefs. And as far as that, as long as you know your belief isn't going out chopping up people and feed them to other people. Like we can be cool. You catch what I'm putting down? Um, but I need for people to stop disrespecting the lives that are lost. Everything is not a war on Judaism. Everything is not a war on Christianity. We have disturbed people walking around on this third rock from the sun. And a lot of times we're putting narratives on people that these people didn't. I don't know how y'all grew up, but there were quite a few instances for me growing up where my parents decided that, you know, I was doing this for this reason and I was doing that for that. No, there were times that, hey DJ, that I did stuff I couldn't tell you why. Just at that moment, I felt like doing it. Like there was no deeper meaning to it. There really wasn't. Like there are people who literally just dream of taking a life. There's nothing political behind it. There's nothing religious behind it. Nobody was radicalized. Nobody, especially in this global economy, is traveling the world to get special training to kill a handful of people. And every time they're like, well, this person was radicalized and they went here to get this special military planning. And then the details come out and there was nothing militarized about what they did. There was nothing thought out about what they did. You can tell that it was spur of the moment because they were unwell. But this obsession with blaming any and everything negative on Barack Hussein Obama and Joseph Robinette Biden is for the birds. Now, can I understand why some people want to blame a whole lot on Joe Biden? I can't, because he's a dick. He's a misogynistic, I want to collect all the black people like I'm Thanos dick. We talk about the white leftist that had a hand in kneecapping Kamala Harris in this last race to POTUS Mountain, but we do not talk enough about how she was also sabotaged by Joseph Robinette Biden. But to blame Obama for someone that Australia is claiming was radicalized in the Philippines and through connections in Australia for a mass shooting that took place in Australia is ridiculous. And what's also ridiculous are the people outside of the United States that jump on these bandwagons and perpetuate them even more. Because these are the same people that are like, the United States is so conceited. They think everything's about them, that they influence everybody. No, we don't. Y'all do. Y'all bring us up in everything. In everything. Stop. But geez Louise. Obama is out here trying to finally get his presidential center open. And this is what y'all do. Now, yesterday we talked a little bit about the ramblings over the weekend that Trump had and how disrespectful he was in regards to the unfortunate death of Rob Reiner and his wife, and it looks like they lost their lives by the hands of their son Nick. The Brown University shooting, and yes, the original person of interest, who they thought was a person of interest, was released. The manhunt continues as of the taping of this episode of the Taz Effect for Brown University. And Trump's wild ramblings about that. Well, you want to know what else happened? And yes, we did also discuss yesterday Trump talking about his imminent demise and when his memorial service happens, and that he doesn't believe that Donnie Jr. would really be mourning him, that Donnie Jr. would probably be, off hunting in the Serengeti or something. And a lot of people are like, that's weird. Why would he just sit at the blue? Oh, because over the weekend, Don Jr. announced that he's engaged. Remember, he broke up with his girlfriend that his father tried to toss an ambassadorship at. And then he went out with a new woman on her birthday. Well, the new woman that he was out with, he is now engaged to. No congratulations from his father. No mention of it. Just, I didn't think my son, when I die, is going to mourn me. He might show up for a day or two. Bitch, how long did you think anybody was going to mourn you? Yep. Kimberly Guilford was the ex. She had all that plastic surgery. Now he was somebody that I guess still has their original face. Also, Supreme Court declines to hear assault weapons ban. The U.S. Supreme Court declined on Monday to hear a case on whether citizens are guaranteed the right to possess semi-automatic weapons, including the popular AR-15. The High Court declined to hear arguments in the Viramontes v. Cook County, a case based in Illinois where the Cook County legislators placed a ban on assault-style weapons. Lawyers for Cook County said the government has a responsibility to protect citizens from the dangers of assault weapons. Assault rifles are the weapon of choice for criminals and terrorists set on quickly massacring innocents, but are rarely put to lawful public use, lawyers for Cook County wrote in a brief to the court. Absolutely. But here's the thing. We could stop having all of these arguments before SCOTUS, and we can stop having this debate regarding the Second Amendment if we are just honest about the Second Amendment. We do not have, well, we do have a well-organized militia. It's the National Guard. Like, that's the whole point of the Second Amendment. It's not for you to have an arsenal at home. It's not for you to be able to protect your home and then scream, well, don't call the cops then. Well, which one is it, Cletus? Are we supposed to protect ourselves, or are we supposed to call on the boys in blue? Or the boys in black? Or the boys in brown, depending on where you live? Mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm. You're going to look like Tony Montana. He will. Absolutely. He should have followed the plan and resigned, making her 47. He should. Biden wasn't going to follow any plan. Biden's ego is way too big. It's too big. It's too it won't fit. That's what she said. And in true Trump fashion, because he has no discernible talents, and we know he ain't been educated no way. Because Tazzy Farm still remembers the open letter that the Wharton School of Business put out there, and how multiple people busted the bubble saying, hey, those pictures of him and all those medals and stuff, that wasn't him. Hey, that homework he claimed he did, he didn't. And Wharton essentially said, Trump, stop telling people you went here. Cause yeah, you were on the attendance sheets, technically. Technically. So, Trump's latest business venture, my bad. Excusez-moi. Trump sues the BBC for $10 billion over speech edit. Yeah, I said that right. Trump's latest business venture. President Donald Trump Sr. sued the BBC for at least $10 billion in damages over edited clips of a speech that made it appear he directed supporters to storm the U.S. Capitol, opening an international front in his fight against media coverage he deems untrue or unfair. But you did do that, Trump. There's like a cajillion documentaries out about it. There are videos from virtually every angle because your sycophants are too stupid to realize that they've posted online states evidence against you. You did do that. You did. There were congressional hearings about the fact that you did. People went into court saying you did. And when you pardoned them, that confirmed that you did. Is you cool, bitch? Trump accused Britain's publicly owned broadcaster of defaming him by splicing together parts of a January 6, 2021 speech, including one section where he told supporters to march on the Capitol and another where he said, fight like hell. It omitted a section in which he called for peaceful protest. Where's that section? Where's that section? Because let's take off the table, okay? Let's take off the table that everyone around the world was able to watch his self-coup, aka the January 6th insurrection, in real time in 4K, okay? Let's take that off the table. Let's take off the table what we learned in the congressional hearings and what we learned from Cassidy Hutchinson's book, okay? That he legitimately laid hands on a Secret Service officer that was driving him because he wanted to go down and be in the midst of the chaos, okay? Let's also ignore the fact that he was mad that the protesters, his insurrectionists, his cronies, looked too lowbrow for him. Let's ignore the thousands of hours of footage of them on camera saying that they got orders from Trump to do it. Let's ignore when Trump was told to, hey, make a statement saying, hey, folks, stop doing that. Let's be peaceful. And he wouldn't do it. Even when he finally told them to, quote unquote, back down, he still didn't tell them to be peaceful. Like, how do you go, well, he's calling for it's a peaceful protest. Be peaceful, people, and go fight like hell. Because you're saying that he called for a peaceful protest before he said fight like hell. And you're saying that a news organization does what a news organization does, splices things down for time. So if Trump can sue the BBC for that, can we, the people of the United States, get together and have a class action suit regarding what Trump and his administration is splicing together and putting up specifically on TikTok, especially when it comes to immigration and border patrol? And how he's misrepresenting the general public and what the general public wants? Asking for a bunch of friends. And isn't it funny that he's going after Britain's publicly owned broadcaster? How big of a funeral are you trying to have, Trump? Because we know the money ain't there, so you trying to, and we know Melania, melanoma is not gonna pay for that funeral for you. She not. She Donald. We'll bury you next to Ivana. A box. Oh, I have a shoebox. Yeah. Have a shoebox. We have extra boxes from the Christmas decorations. See, I could be the frugal and think of the environment. And we'll hire a few of the children. We'll call them elves. Ashes, ashes, dust to dust. I don't give a about your dusty butt. She gonna be like Diddy and make somebody else pay for it. Yeah, she actually gonna make somebody pay for her to have an outfit. She probably won't even show up to his funeral. It's gonna be a bigger shindig than Kirk's. Yeah, and just like Kirk's, he ain't gonna be there. They're gonna be out there. It's gonna be Love Connection, Melanoma Edition. Have all the bachelors sitting on one side with a little thing, a partition in between, trying to find the next melanoma Trump.
Hey y'all. Hey, how y'all doing? I gotta go to work. I just popped in to get her some smooches and some kisses.
Okay, well then you can read this headline then.
Trump signs order classifying fentanyl as a weapon. Okay, nope, I'm not finishing that. Nope, because that's stupid. But since I'm here, Trump signs order classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction. What about the AR-15? What about the AK-47? Fentanyl.
What about his diapers?
Oh, that's a bomb. Nobody needs to have explode. Nobody. Nope.
Yeah, but that's they stowaway president.
So crack wasn't a weapon of mass destruction? Oh, that's right, because it only affected the black community. My bad.
I thought that they would at least say meth was.
No, because fentanyl is worse. But it doesn't affect the black community as hard as it does the white community. But yeah, all the opioid crisis, none of that affected the black community. So
Now, unfortunately for everybody, it's not law. He decided on Monday to just put it in an executive order.
Oh, good. That means work, just like him.
Is it worthless? Yes, it's worthless. Yeah.
He put his thing down, flick it, and we gonna reverse it.
I can't. And why did he do this? Why did he do this? His reasoning? Because of suspected drug carrying boats in the Caribbean from Venezuela. And wait for it. The securing of the U.S.-Mexico border. Every day. I prepare myself to do the news. And I'm like, It can't get any crazier. At some point, the craziness has to plateau. It has to. It can't just keep increasing because you would think that we're stuck in a hybrid episode of Tales from the Crypt and Twilight Zone. But it just, yeah, we're not gonna make it. You're right, Gambit. Then the floor caves in. Like it. Now, if you're not aware, a presidential pardon is for federal crimes. Okay. There's an individual that Trump was like, you know what? I'm gonna pardon. Problem is, this person has like 100 years worth of state prison time that they have to do before they can go anywhere. Okay. But Trump has been fighting hard to be able to pardon Tina Peters. Who? She's guilty. That mother guilty. That mother guilty. Mm-hmm. Extremely guilty. But Trump pardon will free Tina Peters because he can interpret the Constitution according to Mike Lindell. Now, Trump has not publicly spoken about or to Mike Lindell in a while. Like he has let Mike just keep getting hit by that bus, driven over, backed up over everything. But Mike Lindell he's still holding on. Okay, he holding on like the would-be side chick. You know that side chick that she want to take your man, but your man just ain't paying her no attention. My Pillow CEO Mike Lindell, a Republican candidate for Minnesota governor, predicted that Colorado election denier Tina Peters would be freed from prison by arguing that President Donald Trump could pardon state charges. I just want to remind y'all, and no, I'm not being funny. You can look this up. Mike Lindell's a crackhead. Just want to put things in perspective for you, okay? And for Trump to claim that he doesn't touch drugs, he doesn't like drugs, he is surrounded by a lot of people who like to do the illicit pharmaceuticals, okay? They like to do the big pharma. Okay? Mm-hmm. The butt drugs, the nose drugs, the needle drugs, you name it. Okay? Lindell made the claim during an interview with Alex Jones. This bitch. Alex Jones this week, soon after Trump issued a pardon for Peters despite not having the power to grant clemency for state charges. He came out and he put the federal pardon out. The Pillow executive said, remember, I had said, hey, everyone said, well, you can't pardon at the federal level because this is state. Exactly. And Mike, why are you concerned about Tina Peters being set free? That man ain't offered you a damn pardon. You on the part, you do realize Trump cleaned you out more than crack ever did. Like more than crack ever did. Like, can you imagine being addicted to crack and your addiction to Trump caused you to be poorer than crack did? I'm not an expert, okay, in the illicit pharmaceuticals, but I don't think you're a good crack whore, Mike. I don't think that you are. Good grief. Okay. TikTok, why are you okay? There we go. Now you're letting me verify it. Um, Now, this has never, probably maybe never come up before when you have a governor arguing with the president of the United States over a person to pardon them or not. Maybe it's never come up before. So this, I believe, is going to have to come together. No, it's not. Trump is stupid. Trump is arguing with a bunch of different governors over a bunch of different things. But Mike, you're not a good crack whore. Okay. I can't even say that you work out of a $10 house. I can't even say you get your crack out of a $5 house because it seemed like you got to pay them $225 to get into that house. Like you are below a lot, lizard. Like what is wrong with you? Like are you smoking the crack remnants? Hmm. 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 Does your crack have training wheels on it? Like I am confusion. Like you got enough money that you could just do the coca. Well, you had enough money. Like, can you even afford crack at this point? Are you doing something strange for some change? I mean, you doing Trump for some, you know what? He ain't even giving you no change off it like that. Y'all just be. I would say bending over, but after how Stormy Daniels described Trump's undercarriage, yeah, mm, mm. No, thank you. No, no, you stupid. Keep you warm. You stupid. Keep you warm. Now for our final story of today. Rand Paul issues dire four-word warning as GOP faces divide over gerrymandering. I know a warning. Stop trying to gerrymander. Republican Senator Rand Paul has issued a chilling warning that any partisan gerrymandering could possibly lead to more civil tension and possibly more violence in our country. Possibly. Do y'all know what possibly mean? Like, y'all are the party of violence. Y'all are always trying to use violence. Because y'all don't like to be still, so y'all don't like peace. Y'all be bippity boppity booping your family members on top of the head for entertainment purposes. It looks like Alf's nose. Shake. During his warning, the Kentucky senator urged both Democrats and Republicans to show some restraint as several states are currently undergoing redistricting battles in an attempt to give one party an advantage over the other. Okay, you know what? I cannot stand that. I cannot stand that. Well, Democrats and Republicans, we both need to show some restraint. I can't stand that. It's no different than you have a friend and your friend's friend has a problem with you. Is talking about you always trying to start something, and your friend goes, well, the both of you need to stop. What you mean, both? Well, you'll be friendless because I will disappear. What you mean Democrats and Republicans need to show restraint? We have crazy racist, some that align with the GOP publicly, some that claim that they're not aligned with anyone, aka they're aligned with the GOP privately, that are doing this. This is not a everybody is doing it, so we all need to take note. No, absolutely not. I think there is a potential that when people have no representation, that they feel disenfranchised, that it might lead to violence in our country. Paul stated Sunday during an interview while on Meet the Press. You think? Oh, wow, I'm so happy that you finally learned what history has been teaching us for a while. It is not that people will become violent because they feel disenfranchised. They will start to protest. And you want to know who gets violent when protest happens? Those that are being protested against. Because historically in this country, it is the cool Republicans that do that. Paul's warning comes as several Republican states, including Texas, Missouri, and North Carolina, have moved to reduce the number of Democratic districts within their borders. In response, California, Virginia, and Maryland have moved to counter it by redistricting their states. So please tell me where the restraint needs to be held at. What? Where? Exactly. Can we stop trying to both sides of this because you don't want to take responsibility for what you got going on, for what you have done, for what you have incited? Like it's okay. You messed up. Okay, you are a violent people. We know you violent. We know this. It's okay. It's cool. And we're cool. Now, that does it for us on today's edition of the Taz Effect. The next show here on these GCPR airwaves will be tonight at 11 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Central with Conversations with Team Nathan. Otherwise, tonight on Conversations with Taz, Talk About It Tuesday, we will be going over some newly uncovered information and the town hall, why a widower of a propagandist would be doing a town hall. I don't know. But more on Erica Kirk and the Kirk conspiracy surrounding her. That will be at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central. Otherwise, you all be good or good adjacent. As always, each one teach one, each one reach one. Don't do anything that requires bail in this economy. And remember that it only requires bail should you get caught. Do with that information what you will. As always, I will see you all tomorrow. Till then.